Whoa! Hello, chat. I have the wrong controller plugged in. And here I thought I was all good and ready. Crazy. Egg on my face. I fucked up. Oh, 1 second. For Gore, I was using my knockoff USB fucking controller thing. Open it. No. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Puffy. How it go? That's how you say hi to somebody, right? You just say how it go. Wait! No! No! Wait! No! Oh, no! Wait, it's fine? Is it fine? Maybe it's fine. I thought I selected new game. But maybe it's fine? Maybe everything's okay? There we go. March 17th, 11:17 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court Defendant Lobby number 3. It's not going all that well, is it? No, no, what was the voice? No, I think that went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. It's just my shitty fucking Sonic voice now. Like the one I do when I'm not even trying. It's not CDI Link-like at all. I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. Who's talking? Now, there is no need to look so glum. I can't pretend I know who's... Okay, it's okay. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have. If you listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. So, in actual Ace Attorney games, characters wouldn't occupy the same space like this. This is non-canon. This isn't how this works. They can't turn and look at each other like that, okay? They have to only face forward, and there should only be one on the screen at any time. No, this is good. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try and shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh, but you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, had Prez and I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I'm willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it may be your only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he is the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. Thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I am sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Shut the fuck up. The road to the Dark Realm. Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and Right, there's like a weird... Okay. Inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day. Well, I'm sorry. Listen, not to be a shithead fuckface, but to also be a shithead fuckface. They know Zelda's not a last name, right? And yet no one knows exactly what happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok, people blaming the Royal Guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn and she will be better. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa? What is it, soldier? I am quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch has sent word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address. They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. I like how the character model slid in and out of place there. It did remind me, though, I took this bottle of milk from a couple guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, it's still unopened. Oh, thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. And she fucking dies. I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. I also want to die of poison. Huh, you're right. I assumed this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Let me just sound AI generated for a moment. Probably with the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It really doesn't taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I better make some notes about this in the court record. Defense! The court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. Okay, get off my dick. So it's come down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Time to turn this situation around. You could even say it's time to have a turnabout. Liquid. Court is back in session for the trial of Malin of Lon Lon Ranch. I trust the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for a defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. The matter of motive. therefore naturally such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. Prosecution, I believe you sound really different for no reason. Yeah, it's been a day. The prosecution believes that the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on that matter. On the matter. Fascinating. Very well, please proceed. Please proceed. The prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. I don't know how you say that fucking word. It's almost like looking at a different person. The fucking music is so good! Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court and he wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet, defense! Witness, state your name and occupation. Okay. Your Honor, great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Lond Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have preserved through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silo single-handedly. Well, that's some dedication. Very well, given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information. Is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we're like a big family. Well, that sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're going to be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. Even though I can't keep this voice up forever, come on. The matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partially signed the ranch over to his daughter, Marlon. Talon became a life tenant when Marlon meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Marlon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. And there you have it, testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lond Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Mr. Ingo, why would you... You should pass judgment now, Judge! The defense has nothing! I would like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant. But of course, ask whatever you'd like. I, the hard-working Ingo, can handle it. Very well, defense. Please begin. Just a couple days ago, Talon partly signed the ranch over. Okay. How long ago was this exactly? 3 or 4 days. I'm not sure of the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Talon was getting on in years. I better take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Malin? He is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by partly, witness? I don't... So, Ace Attorney does this too. I don't know how I feel about the end of, like, a press dialogue naturally leading into the next statement or whatever. Because it's always been weird to me because, like, the defense attorney, Link, in this scenario, he knows what the next statement is. Why is he, like leading into it? Just go to the next one. I can't word it very well. It's always it feels awkward to do it that way. Tom became a life tenant with Malin meant to inherit all the assets after his death. Never quite understood either. Okay, I'm glad you like know what I mean when I say that shit. So Malin hadn't become the ranch owner yet. Well, well, of course not. Haven't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership signed to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always revert his decision. That's horrible. I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was... as long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch I can read? She'd have a much better if she sold it the old fuck my ass. If she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Wah! She's often slacking on the job while I, the hardworking Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job too. Oh, I do recall quite a funny story. About the Lon ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal cuckoo, apparently. Jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Renown, whatever. Me, the hardworking Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? That's simple. The girl killed Talon to get full ownership. Okay. Do you really think Malin would go that far? I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her! That's alright. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, why wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she'd still inherit the ranch. Moo ha ha! That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes. Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds went over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally, the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You'd think she'd have to have chosen any other day. Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head to Castle Town to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear that he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? Add to the testimony. There was an argument about the inheritance. That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requested to be added to the testimony. This fucking crossed arm pose looks so fucking stupid. That's like... I'm biased because I've always thought that Nintendo 64 Link looks fucking dumb as hell. So... Very well, witness, please do so. I'd be happy to, Your Honor. I feel like a lot of characters in Nintendo 64 Zelda shit are pretty convincing for, like, you know, the limitations they have, but I feel like Link needed another pass. Especially when you compare what he looks like in the game to, like, his artwork. I overheard them arguing about the inheritance that morning. About what time did this happen? The first thing in the morning. I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. I had just walked out the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling behind me. Do you remember any specific details about what was said? Any specifics? There was no... The word details was not in there. Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like... How do I do Luigi doing a Mario impression? I don't know if I can. I'm really sorry, Marlon, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I thought the cat. What about me, Father? How could you do this to me? I can't do this. Marlon, this isn't just about you. It's for the good of the entire kingdom. What am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are here, and Ingo's always around to help out with the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't he? Yeah, Ingo is awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over. What a stirring reenactment. I will keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. Mom would never want to sell the ranch. Well, of course you'd say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust a thing she says. Like how they became Malin question mark when he said that. Yeah, and Talon question mark. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Have anything in the court record that can refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there'd be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter. Continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. It's probably how grateful she is after all Talon did for her. No, you hold it! That man gave everything for her! She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift? Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. Was that last statement important? Yeah, add it. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add the statement about the perfume to testimony. Bah! What are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's important detail. The perfume is irrelevant. But I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to your testimony. Talon often bought Malin gifts. I saw the latest one. Some kind of perfume, I think. But where did you see this? I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much on his salary for me, the hard-working Ingo. I get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know. What's your relationship with this guy, anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one. Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. Okay. But just before the crime. I don't think I have anything about. If she's unable to divide the deed between the crown of the remaining employees. Interesting. Does the music... Is the music dynamic? When I'm looking at the court record, does it like remove some instruments to be less intrusive or whatever? No, no. It was just a part of the song, I think. I just realized what the attorney's badge is. Holy shit. Fucking medallion. Yeah, here we go. Let me slurp. Witness! What is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought for Malin by your father, correct? What else would it be for? I assure you Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfume, as far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared, and the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Talon's taste in gifts. The princess's testimony. Somebody's movements. Someone's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, defense. Who is this person? Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is... the witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene that the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Ah. Order, order. The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton! What is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you go up to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was working on the silo all day. I remember, I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Teller must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One's word against another's. Defense. You have any way to prove that your version of events is true? Smell the perfume! No, it is dynamic! Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool! What? Why? Why did they go so hard on this fucking ROM hack? What the fuck? That is so cool! Oh my fucking god. I want to say the receipt, but I don't think we have. I don't. Then why don't we send a soldier to ask the store owner when the bottle was bought? Bah, do you know how many people visit that store? It's inconceivable that the owner would remember every random purchase. Ah. Any other ideas, defense? I'm glad that didn't give me a penalty at the very least. And when you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Mother never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Your Honor! Yes, what is it, soldier? We have just received a receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot writing on this. From Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Tingle mentioned! Yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric-looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's another eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of the dunderhead! Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons! Oh, the balloons! That full popped one right in my face! Prosecutor Dragmire, enough! Continuing on. Purchased item, 1 bottle of Rosy Rupee Land. That's one of the DS Tingle games. Oh my, this is quite the price. Why, I would have to... Your Honor, please! The date of purchase! Yes, right. Date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th, the day of the murder! Gah! That's the best I got. Order! Yes, we got him! Phew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Bah, this still doesn't mean anything! Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then! Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on. You think we're gonna believe that? Do you have any proof they didn't? Well, I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day. Ha, my movements? Well, alright. There's not a whole lot to say, though. It's unfortunate he managed to weasel out of that. But his next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. My non-suspicious movements. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came, reading. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, a detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was that detective one fine woman! Oh no. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat! I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. I had volunteered to work in the silo. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We sent out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars? Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable! I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though. Indeed. Tal and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force's investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah, you Hylians! Ridiculous! Is that ridiculous or ridiculousness? It's just ridiculous. Getting tipsy from a little milk, from something like milk. Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the Grudo's noble pursuit. A real man's drink. A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Grudo women? Yeah, get fucked. Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had got himself a glass of water. Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see. I got very thirsty, and... At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. You didn't think to just take a sip of the milk you were handling? No, it wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see. I just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So, what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Boo-ha-ha! Great. What happened after that, witness? I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Bah, you don't know the might of the great Ingo. Ha-ya! Pow! Wham! I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. Anyways, that's not important. The point is... I haven't been able to fuck you in the face. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. Are you sure? Sure as can be, muhaha! You never went back in even after the crime was discovered. Bah, they wouldn't let me in! Preserving the crime scene or some such, I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. Is what he just said just important? Sure. Your Honor, I'd like the witness to add his last statement to his testimony. What? What are you trying to pull now? Very well. Witness, please amend your statement. Ah, fine, whatever. Didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. I had to spend the night in the stable. Couldn't you have stayed at an inn? Bah, what am I, made of money? Think, boy. I'm but just a simple ranch worker, you know. Phew, you lawyers, always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. And wow, what that was that detective? What? Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I want him to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Gosh, Link, that's his only fit. Oh, what the fuck would he say? Perhaps when this chore of a trial is over, I could... But no, it'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius rancher worker, Ingo, see through your schemes. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I could hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. It's time to press for more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Didn't get to sleep or accessing my belongings. I had to spend the night in the stable. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Is that why you're in a new outfit, bro? You witness there's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What? What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in? That's right? Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. And pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Ah! He says. The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to sully those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new. Yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to court dressed like a bum. Moo ho 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 ho. Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself? I guess I can't, right? Because I need to find something. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. What? Oh, how can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today, or get out! Oh, shit. Oh, shit! I would like to turn the court's attention to this. Ah! Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Now, it reminds me of the idyllic days I spent something about fishing pond, whatever. Spent with my grandson at the fishing pond. Okay. What about this picture, Defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This photo is from Malon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today! Gah! Order, I will have order! Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There, I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Well, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear these nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. Huh. Oh. 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 Yes, of course. I needed to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bomb in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute, this is insane! What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making excuses up on the spot. Ingo is clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge! There can be no other explanation! The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself, instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. I feel like that was the writing team making fun of a thing that happens in Ace Attorney all the fucking time. And going, nah, we're not gonna let that slide. We're gonna have the defense attorney go, nah, fuck that shit. Defense! The prosecution supposed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. I actually happen to love perjury, Link. What's your opinion of the matter? Can the defense think of an alternate version of events? This is big. I really need to think this through. Wait, really? Oh my god! They're doing the thing from fucking 5, yo! Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Oh my fucking god! It's so good! Why would Ingo be doing that? Because he's the fucking murderer. If it's not Mullen, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did if I want to think Mullen is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? Blood. 3 by cow. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah Force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? Yeah, the 3 golden gods is so fucking cool. Ingo burned his clothes. That's it! This explains everything! I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Fucking love this game so much. Nonsense! Judge and defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. Shut the fuck up, Dragma! And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No! It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit, and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since, is because it got stained with the victim's blood. The victim's blood. Preposterous! If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Sheikah Force would have found them, and we would be trying someone else for the murder right now. Why, you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Huh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so he used this to dispose of them. This thing. Yeah. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess's... that mysterious fire. Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned-out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon, and then tried to hide it. And he sees... No! Hold on! What drivel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. Bitch. Too busy for murder. Everything you've said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast, and there's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. I think even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right, the great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here. Some kind of shortcut. I must find it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Okay. Controller. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than those panicked attempts to fix your story. What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, defense. It's the judge that makes the final call. As long as this alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you. Yes, all the loose ends have to be tied up before a decision can be made. Witness, please continue. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. Could you explain what that alibi is again? With pleasure. At the time of the crime, I was busy preparing the day's shipments of milk. That's hard work. I barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. The shipments were inspected by the Sheikah force as they were leaving the ranch. And as our resident detective has told us, they were found to be fully loaded up with bottles of milk. That's right. The Sheikah force itself has vouched for me. There's no way I could be the culprit. No, I disagree. There has to be a way. There must be. There's no way I could have completed the milk shipments, killed Tom, and tried to hide my involvement. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing those shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into crates, and load those onto a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. She goes, I love milking the cows, lol, hee hee. So as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to work together to get it done in time for the courier's arrival. There you go, defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth. Okay, so there's no way you could complete the shipments and also do the killing. In that case, there had to be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it. Was it perhaps that he watered the milk down? The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. So you had enough time for breakfast, but not enough to kill someone. Yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working. I just quickly gobbled it up. There's no issue there. In fact, yes, I remember it even burned a bit because I wasn't completely paying attention to it. That's why I had to go get that glass of water too, you see. I had to wash it down after. Very convenient little explanation. But for all I know, he actually did cook up a breakfast on the fire of burning blood-soaked clothes. Ew. Continue, witness. We don't want to hear about your culinary adventures. Of course, of course. My point is just what I've been telling you this whole time. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. The only people who could have done this were you and Malin. I know Malin well enough to know she couldn't be the culprit. That leaves you as the perpetrator. Yes, by now we all know how much you value your friend. Let me remind you, though, that feelings don't matter at all here. Either show us solid evidence that puts Ingo's alibi into question, or concede defeat. Is there any way he could have done the work faster? I'm not sure. It would be nice if there was, though. I could sleep in a little bit longer every day. Yeah, you'd think he would have shared it with you if he knew of one. Just what shortcut did you use, Ingo? Okay. Yeah, but did you, though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. No, I'm sure it looked that way. What are you getting at, Defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk for me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The crowd will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular, not Maverick. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. You've probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Hmm. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. What? Water? I have to agree, this is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. Duck noises. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened, during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ah! It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Order, order! Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all he had to do was milk fewer of the cows. Save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I'd guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. But he sees... No! Talon! Let me stop you right there. Huh? I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you! Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Did I miss the part where this bottle was admitted into evidence, or is this the right classic? I'm like 99% sure. What am I saying? No. Scratch what I just fucking said. Why'd I say that? No, it wasn't admitted to evidence. In fact, I'm surprised Dragmeyer here isn't saying, how do we know you didn't just fill up this bottle and then having Link go, well, if you simply have someone inspect the milk in this the crate or whatever. I'm surprised they didn't bring that up. But I guess they were allowed to do it one time, so he's allowed to do it this one time too. Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there's a vital element missing still. Huh? Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Oh shit! You lacked the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been the saw. Oh, are we just? Holy shit! This is so cool. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? Okay, so there's no actual anything that proves this saw had to be the murder weapon, is I guess what I have to show here. Deep, regular wound, not Maverick, made with a sharp metal object. The saw was found in Mullen's hands clean of blood. supposedly she wiped the saw clean with the blood clot. She denies that, obviously. But if we look at the branch inventory, you know, there's knives, there's... Yeah, point is, there's only one wood saw. So that's true. But yeah, there's like 6 fucking knives and shit, so... Okay. I believe we're in complete agreement on this point. You do realize the problems that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. Ha! As if. But very well, then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would the supposed other murder weapon have even come from? Could he have used any old thing? Either answer the question, defense, or this discussion is over. I need to overthink this. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten the weapon from will do. I'll worry about the exact details later. I've forgotten this murder happened on a ranch. Liquid. There are plenty of sharp things on site. Ho ho! That's simply impossible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Ah, shit. Couldn't Ingo have just... Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like the Zoras can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Chica Force employs people just for this task. Also, as Lon Lon Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. Well, I guess that's a good point. I have to rethink this. Hidden it. Couldn't Ingo have just hidden it? Ah, the Kingdom's best investigators are on this case. We found no signs of anything buried on the premises. And even if Ingo skipped part of his work, he still wouldn't have had time to hide anything very far from the ranch. Maybe an idiot, but do you really think he would have risked the weapon being found? And now listen here. Silence! Wah! Well, I guess that is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Well, shit. Okay, never mind. Couldn't Ingo have just, what? Spit it out! Sorry, still collecting my thoughts. Do all the collecting you want, it won't change the facts. Okay, yeah, I have to present something. I tried wiped it off. I tried hidden it. Oh, wait. Did I forget to try to dispose of it? I did. Couldn't Ingo have just disposed of it in some way? Ah, that's impossible, you see. Check all the shop options on the ranch and... No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing. That list is indisputable. How can you be sure that the inventory is accurate? Bah, use your head! There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The rancher needed everything to be in order. He would have doubled, even triple-checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... But what? But what, Link? Oh, but the ranch owner's not the one who wrote it, it was Ingo. As I assume the point being that Link wants me to make here. The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of the document? That would be... Do I... Something about the inventory itself? It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Ho ho. You can't just go around making such general statements, Defense. Find out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. This, right? Because... Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. Oh, okay. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. Oh. That's all you got? Wouldn't Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Oh, obviously we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. This is the most important point. He has nothing really been able to leave? No. That's... Wow. Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous. Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah Force before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you babbling about, rather? We're talking about bog-standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple. They overlooked. There is one place inside the crates that the Sheikah couldn't have checked early without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments. Oh! That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Now wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. How can you be so sure? Even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? All those shipments have most certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure, choked on it even. If they took too large a swig, it would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. So he falsified the shipment date or the address on purpose, knowing or trying to get it to come back or whatever. You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No! Indeed. If you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with the murder weapon in it. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the Postal Service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried it'd start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. Good. Let me swiggity swoo the liquid from the can. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you're even asking about it. This evidence easily explains your motive. The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter, Malin of Lon Lon Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah. What? You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well. So you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. I gave you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malin would be back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no! What are you talking about? Talon selling the ranch over to me? Preposterous! Did he really not know? Guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor! What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, well, well. Timothy's in a Let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... Is it the part that's got the blood right there? Is that the part, Link? Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular, not maverick wound pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? It's the image of the cow! I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Slice it? Oh, I've had it! Fine, fine! You want to know why?
You wanna know why I really killed that scumbag? No! No, what are you?
So you admit it?
Yes! Yes, I admit it! What would you do if, one day, after years of back-breaking labor despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish? Without any reason! Fired! Farewell! We don't need you anymore!
What? But that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, don't lie! I heard it all! I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Mullen and Toad are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. Didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malin, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it!
Order! The witness will cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Wait just a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl, I want to apologize for what you've done. Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? Hey, that sound effect. Good. You've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure that everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry somewhat about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Wah! Now there's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for a while. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. That's... You were planning... What? A vacation? For me? And I did? No! No, it can't be so! Please say it isn't so! Chicken. This ROM hack is perfect. We have witnessed today the result of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you'd have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man beloved by all who had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him! An utter idiot dressed like a clown! Jeez, he's really laying into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost. The prosecution's rant aside, I think it's time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I am very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else.
Aw, thanks!
Fucking Link doing the goddamn fucking Ace Attorney animations. Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Hylia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malin of Lon Lon Ranch not guilty. Court is adjourned. Like, the writing is just so on point. I've never played an Ace Attorney fan game before, so I don't know, like, I don't know if there's really fantastic fan games for the franchise or not, but you don't want to fuck up the writing in an Ace Attorney fan game. This feels like a real thing. Like, nothing that I played here seems like a stupid fan thing. If that makes, like, there's no incredibly outdated memey bullshit or anything like that. It just is really good writing. March 17th, 12:32 p.m. Hyrule Grand Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
We did it!
I suppose so. And I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ringo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free. It's time to celebrate. Your father's finally dead. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you. They even resisted the urge to write an excuse me, princess, even innocuously. No, yeah, I fully expected it and I would have accepted it. Type shit. Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. Well, here it comes, here it comes. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? I was, but I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There is no need to bow, not after what I have done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carried off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury's, pretty serious. That's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Guess there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. Pulls out a weapon and she says that. That's all thanks to you that the young lady over here finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. This? The bottle. Well, it's true. Without this, without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And really, your obviously false testimony helped us a lot.
Youch! It just stepped on my foot!
Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Will they even have us show them the thing after the verdict to make them feel better? But yeah. Well, sure. 10 hut! Crazy. We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. What, Mega Man? Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness.
Bye!
And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. I can't read. What, is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then, my duties call, unfortunately. So I must be off. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust that I'll be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. The unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You! Bro, your fucking forehead. Hello! Nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now! Where did that blasted detective go? Have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies! Dramatic much? He looks about ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost, deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. I was gonna say, are they gonna just have Gandalf be like evil, or is he just stern and like unpleasant, but not necessarily like an evil man? Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there is some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears that she had fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations! Fucking by Ganondorf, he just says that and laughs and leaves. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think what could have happened. And don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. I felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Mullen continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I'd lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. It's so cool. So it's like a world that's very similar to the world of Ocarina of Time, but Ganondorf wasn't evil. At least not immediately or something, and so Link became an attorney of law instead. No, so this is by, what are they called? The Newer team, or Team Newer, or something? They make, like, a bunch of new Super Mario Brothers, ROM hacks. I have no idea why the fuck they suddenly decided to do an Ace Attorney, like, in the Ocarina of Time engine. I haven't a goddamn clue what compelled them to suddenly do that. If this is a sequel hook, if they're like gonna potentially make more of this, holy shit! Like, because again, I don't know how easy this was for them to do, but it was perfect. No notes. the only fucking thing, right? Obviously, there's no investigation segments because it's like the prologue case. They had two parts. They had the fucking the part 1 or trial part 1, that trial part 2. For case 1. If there's ever a case 2 and beyond, I expect maybe then we'd have like investigation stuff. But I like Ganondorf being the opposing attorney. I don't know who else they would do, because Impa works better for the detective role. That was a good idea. I don't know who else they would do for like the prosecutor other than Ganondorf. But having him be less than just an evil, mustache twirling, like Von Karma-esque type guy works really well. It's cool that like Zelda got like a whole ass new character model based off of her appearance in like Link to the Past or A Link Between Worlds, and that was cool as shit. Link got like an edit to his model, so it kind of looks like he's wearing a fucking suit. It was just cool as shit. I really like that. I like that stupid Nintendo 64 cat up there too. What's that one thing? Like the biggest, the best criticism you can give a game is that it's too short, or there wasn't enough of it, or like a movie or whatever, was that it was too short. Because that just means the only thing you really want out of it is just more in the future. Good. Scene select is now unlocked. Okay. Extra 1 is now unlocked. Check it out in the scene select. Newer team. Okay. Extra 1, meanwhile, somewhere else. Hold on. What? How long is extra 1 before I look at it? Can I, like... Can I get a... Hold on. Sorry, 1 second. Fucking... Hero of Law Extra 1. Because if this is, depending on how much is here, I'd rather just save it for another time. But I don't know how long it is. Oh, okay, it's like a. All right. What were you saying, Robbie? I do like how they struck the balance of him just being sympathetic enough to Malin, and the other coming off as out of character or too clearly insincere. Yeah. Super Talon game. Yeah? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, rip. God damn it. This is so stupid. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me?
what Mario is this from? Is this the Mario Wonder theme? Or whatever you want to call it, the normal standard theme? Course clear. Wow, I really needed one of those. Thanks! In return, I'll tell you about a secret I've heard. Supposedly, there's a game with a giant egg in which you can become a criminal. And a pair of games with climate change and time travel. They say that extras can be unlocked by connecting them on the title screen using a certain accessory. Now, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you can figure it out. See ya! No, I did hear about this, actually. Basically, if your stupid ass plays this on an actual fucking Nintendo 64, and you have that Game Boy fucking color adapter thing, you can actually do certain stuff. Like they went way too hard on this shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know how to activate that stuff though. Hold on. Can I? How would you? How would I do this on Project 64? You can download the soundtrack? I'm gonna fucking come. I'm gonna nut. Read me, maybe? A fucking expansion pack required to play. The Rumble pack apparently does work. The voice recognition module apparently does work. The Nintendo 64 mouse apparently does work. Holy shit! Nonetheless, if you really want to skip the transfer pack requirement, you can use this secret unlock code to instantly get access to everything. Only available in version 1.02 or later. I'm in version 1.01! No! Shit! Well, here, I can try this anyway. I don't think it's gonna work, but... Okay. Well, let me patch a new version, I guess, real quick. Yeah, give me a second, I guess. Hero of Law, but can I like version 1.02? Copy. Put that in there. Close that.
Yeah, I gotta readjust it to tell it I want widescreen again, but that's alright. I can do that. There we go. Nope. Brightness. So, what does it say specifically? It says to it says to why is their last page just garlic bread? Anyway, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Using the C buttons and A, play the Ocarina of Time song, most likely to cause the events from the opening of Link's Awakening. Oh! Oh, the Song of Storms. That's A down up, A down up. Okay. Extra 2 Ingo's Casino? What do you mean? Oh my god! Wait! Yeah, get fucked. How do I win? Show rules. The cards are drawn. You pick how much to bet by clicking the rupee, and which cards to replace by clicking them. You can go to sides as bet and cards to replace when it gets all times 2. Okay. Damn, Link, you kind of suck in this game, don't you? Okay, okay. Tingle's the best card. What about the song? Courageous Deductions, Roadrunner WMC. Okay. Another development, our placeholder music for this track was Hyrule Castle Courtyard. So when it came time to write the real music, I tried to use that as the basis for it first. And because of the amount of chromaticism, notes that don't fit the key signature, and that song, adapting it to the style we wanted wasn't easy. So instead I obviously based the song on Kepora Kepora's theme. The new melody is designed to mesh well with Kepora Kepora's. Whenever the original melody runs up or down a scale, the new one does too. The chords underneath flow around somewhat aimlessly without much logic behind them. I'd mostly just varied the notes until they sounded nice. It's subtle, but the triplet played on the shaker at the very end of the Owl's melody is a nod to the corresponding theme from another Attorney game. You get like information about the song playing? Dude! Bonus Owl's theme, Roadrunner WMC. The original Owl theme from The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening had 10 notes before it looped. To bring it up to the modern musical standards, the game's 2019 remake added some chords underneath, extending the loop from 4 seconds to 24. I decided to start there for my version, but it still felt too short, especially since the player will talk to the owl for much longer in this game than in Link's Awakening. So I extended it further by adding a variation of those chords, and then a new section of that deviates significantly to make it more unique. At the end is a clear quote from the Kepora's theme from Ocarina of Time. It was tricky to fit that into a 4x4 time melody, into 3x4 without sounding too unnatural. Altogether, this version of the Owl's theme is about 56 seconds long, or 14 times the length of the original. I'm gonna die. This is so cool. Bonus Super Talon game by the same guy. This song is a joke. It just occurred to me that one day it would be funny to make a cover of the Grassland theme from Super Mario Bros. Wonder with these instruments. Specifically with the ocarina as the whistle, and Malin's voice as the vocals. I made it in a day or two without telling anyone, and replaced our game's title theme with it as a little prank. I planned to switch it back and remove it after the others had heard it, but to my surprise, Skawa wanted to keep it and invent an Easter egg to reuse it for. And later that day, Hero of Law's first extra scene Super Talent game was born. That's why this is just a cover and not a full rearrangement like the rest of the music in this game. It wasn't originally intended to be in the game at all. Dude. End credits by the same guy. This is the second to last song I wrote for the game. Ingo the Defeated was the last. It had to be near the end. I want to rearrange many of the other songs from across the soundtrack, so those had to be written first. At over 3 1x2 or 3.5 minutes long, over 150 tracks in my project file, and 26 instruments used, it's far and away the largest song in the game. 150 tracks? What? In fact, it's so large it doesn't even fit in the amount of RAM that Ocarina of Time allocates for sequence data. We had to increase the allocation space. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time's credits theme actually doesn't fit either. They solved that by splitting it into multiple parts, but we preferred not to do that. Anyway, there are a few interesting facts about this song from a composition standpoint. For example, while cross-examination Allegro is normally faster than Moderato, and Confrontation Presto is faster still, they are played back to back to back in the credits melody, so they all need the same tempo. But Confrontation in particular felt too slow that way at first. I had to change its rhythm quite a bit to keep a similar amount of energy with the slower tempo it needed to have. What I'd rather talk more about is how our credits music solves a problem that Ocarina of Time's credits have. Other than being started at the same time, the visuals and music for Ocarina of Time's credits aren't synchronized at all. On top of that, when played on real Nintendo 64 hardware, the visuals lag heavily due to so many characters being shown at once. The developers obviously knew this, so the timings are set up to work out correctly with the expected amount of lag, but emulating lag accurately is too slow to do even on modern hardware, so no current emulators do. As a result, when emulating Ocarina of Time, the end of the music often gets cut off. Nintendo's official emulators, Virtual Console, etc., have either modified the game to retime the credits or entirely replaced the credit scene with a video. But none of that would have been necessary had the game synchronized its credits music and visuals itself. So that's what Hero of Law does. I marked about 50 points in this song for it to update a sequence IO variable which the game can read. The game waits for the variable to reach a certain value before each text or scenery change. This way, the visuals will always stay exactly in sync with the music on all current and future Nintendo 64-like platforms. Why? Why did they go so hard? Like, it's a joke concept, but it's taken so seriously and passionately. What the fuck, man? I didn't mean to do this again. Fuck. Oops. So, can't skip the music trivia, you already read Patch the Game. Okay, so I could just sit here and read music trivia forever. Well, let me see how many... Is it 150 songs in the final, like, soundtrack file, or... It is 24. That's not too bad, actually. It's got, like, cute album art, too. Well, hold on a second, I guess. Let me... So... I'm gonna do Extra 3 probably tomorrow because I don't want it to have to be split up, and I don't know how long Extra 3 is. Extra 3 is a whole ass other case. I just don't know if it's the same length as the actual main case or not. But let me. About the song title theme. This song had a bit of an unusual history. I was able to write the first 30 seconds of it, a rearrangement of the original game's title theme, on my first try. Then I got writer's block, composer's block, and couldn't figure out how to continue it. So I started a second attempt from scratch. I soon saw that it wasn't as good, but I found it easier to think of ideas for because it was more energetic. Then I adapted many of those ideas back into the first version to get the best of both. The sections based on Great Fairy's Fountain, The Legend of Zelda main theme, and the title theme from newer Super Mario Bros. Wii are from there. The section based on Ganondorf's theme didn't make the cut. Also, yes, you read that right. There's a newer Super Mario Bros. Wii reference near the end of the song. If you hadn't got it, something else you might not have noticed is that the harp near the end plays mostly the same notes as the piano from the original game's title theme. Anyway, once the piece was written, importing it was the challenge, since this was the first song to use more than the 16 tracks allowed by the game. In fact, it needed a lot more. The project file for the final version has 54 tracks. At any individual moment in time, though, most of them aren't playing anything. So to fit it in, I designed a new music importing system that lets you mix and match different parts between the 16 tracks based on a big spreadsheet. This was very useful later for many of the other complex songs we've written for the game, such as Confrontation Presto. Defendant Lobby. My first attempts at writing a Defendant Lobby theme sounded too bright, so I went for a darker tone with this one. At first it was actually too dark, though. With the loud piano bass and the choir singing the chords above it, I was told it sounded more like Death Row than a lobby. Thankfully, I was able to get the right mood by changing the instrumentation. The Song of Storms melody symbolizes the storm brewing in the courtroom. The pounding bass later on references another Attorney Games lobby theme. I can't even compose the whole game. Chords now in session. This was the very first piece of original music written for the game back in 2022. It's a rearrangement of the house theme. At first I planned for this to be the Defendant Lobby theme, but we decided it would fit better here. Unlike the rest of the soundtrack, the first draft wasn't written with the game's actual instruments since I hadn't gotten them set up on my computer yet. Cross-examination moderato, however you say that, I don't know what the fuck. I wrote this song in one afternoon. The first draft turned out so well, I hardly needed to change anything. The final version is almost exactly the same. I wanted it to be based on the Lost Woods theme, to symbolize the twisty paths of logic Link needs to puzzle through before he can find the path forward. I found it difficult to fit that song into this style. However, I was able to make it work by playing the beginning of the Lost Woods melody backwards and building the rest of the song around that. If you reverse the song, you can hear the Lost Woods in it. This is also the first song to get a thinking variation. Adding thinking versions where the volumes of certain tracks are changed while the court record is open was my suggestion. Good suggestion! Not all of the other developers were on board with the idea at first, but after I made an in-game demonstration using this song as an example, they were convinced. Objection. The track that became the Pursuit music was originally the Objection music, but it was too energetic. The goal for this version then was to make something that sounded triumphant but not too exciting, which I think I pulled off. The rhythm based on the strings is fairly close to the rhythm in the music I used as a reference from another Attorney game series. The second half of this track is directly based on the counter melody near the end of Pursuit, by the way. I deviated from that more than I intended to after discovering the current chord progression, though. It sounds much more satisfying to me than the original idea. Still, I like the idea of this soundtrack having a couple of its own little unique leitmotifs. Suspense. I made the very first by Meatball. I didn't fucking realize some of these were by a different dude. I made the very first music created for this mod, which was just taken directly from the original Attorney game, adapted to mostly Zelda but some custom instruments. Didn't turn out great, but we knew it would be best to make original arrangements anyway. So this is the first thing I wrote after we made the decision to do that. The idea for the soundtrack was to make it mostly Zelda with some Attorney game references sprinkled in too. This is perhaps the most obvious example of that. Here, let me snooze and add Zelda's theme by Roadrunner. This is the second piece of original music written for the game. Just like Chord is now in session, I originally wrote the intro intending for it to be the start of a lobby theme, which is why it starts with the Hyrule Field melody. After some discussion, we decided to make it Zelda's theme instead, so I continued the song by adding Zelda's Lullaby as the main melody. At the end of the song, I even managed to layer both melodies together in a way that sounds nice. We wanted our version of Princess Zelda to be regal but also somewhat immature. I think the final arrangement captures that contrast well. Trial Continues by Roadrunner. Chords Now in Session was the first original song I wrote for the game. Over time I started to like it less. But the other developers still seem to still like it, so maybe I'm being too critical of myself. Either way, I thought I could do better, so I wrote this. Light chord is now in session. It's a remix of House. It's hard to tell, but the melody does start with the same notes as House, albeit with a different rhythm and key. At the very end is a rendition of the Got a Treasure jingle. I'd like to say there's some deep meaning behind it, but I just thought it'd sound fun. Unfortunately, the way the song works by adding more and more instruments over time made it hard to include here for technical reasons. I want to play on top of the other instruments, but I didn't realize how close it gets to the game's polyphony, simultaneously playing sounds limit. By playing the two songs on top of each other, I blew way past the limit, which made notes start to cut each other off. I did what I could to lower the number of notes without changing the sound too much. But it's still not perfect, sadly. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. The soundtrack version available from our website at least includes all the notes, since there are no limits there. At any rate, once this theme was finished, the others raised concerns that it might sound too dark for the start of the trial. So in the end, we decided to keep both of them and use this one for the second half, when the trial gets more serious. We love devlogs. Hi, Sakura, how you doing? This is a really fucking fantastic mod of Ocarina of Time that turns it into an Ace Attorney-like. Like, everything about it is good. I was very impressed. Good shit. Cross-examination Allegro by Roadrunner. Moderato is based on just the beginning of the Lost Woods theme, for Allegro I want to feature almost the entire song reversed. The trumpet does that. The two counter melodies help make it sound more natural, as if the melody was always intended to play in that direction. I see there's some nods to the Lost Woods theme when listening forwards, too. The tambourine rhythm and the 4 quick pounding chords just before the loop are both direct references to it. Near the end, part of the Lost Woods melody is played forwards, while another instrument plays the main cross-examination melody. That means that the same melody is briefly played in 2 directions at once. Of course, Azia caught the end of the ROM hack. Of course, Ingo is a bad guy. Yeah, I'm sorry you got spoiled. You should still play it, though. No, wait! Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. I'm a fool. Reminiscence by Meatball. This one was obviously based on Zelda's Lullaby, but I made it a lot more emotional. It starts off tense, then it becomes sad. You will listen to Ingo talk about the song again. The sad section is led by a piano with a fake delay effect. This was produced by playing the part multiple times, slightly offset, quieter, and panned in the other direction to simulate the sound of bouncing off a wall. So actually there are 3 pianos here. Each subsequent piano is offset further, quieter, and panned farther than the last. But it's supposed to sound like one piano played in an echoey space. Yeah? Ingo the Ingenuous. This is a pretty simple rearrangement of Ingo's theme from the original game. The whistle sound is newly imported. We tried several whistle instruments from different synthesizers before choosing this one from the Korg Triton. The whistling captures Ingo's carefree demeanor at this point in the game, maybe suspiciously carefree, and the cowbell helps tie it to the rage. Revisualization by Meatball. Roadrunner handled this track at first, but struggled to get it right. The original idea was to arrange the Legend of Hyrule as it fit thematically with the scene. He made a couple of arrangements before giving up. This song is just too musically sparse and unusual. Oh snap, you're playing this? How's it been so far? I saw the trailer. I beat it! It's very good. And it has good extra content as well. It was very impressive. Without saying too much about it. Just the most impressive... one of the most impressive Ocarina of Time ROM hacks I've ever fucking played. I haven't played a whole lot of Ocarina of Time ROM hacks, but it's up there. After the track was reassigned to me and my attempts at rearranging the same melody similarly failed, I decided to try basing on something more conventional. There's some fitting alternatives, Nehru's song from the Oracle of Ages, and the Ballad of the Goddess from Skyward Sword. As an aside, because of all the SFX in this scene, I rammed right into the game's polyphony, simultaneously playing sounds limit. Notes kept cutting out. We tried raising the limit, but the game immediately started chugging hard, so I had to make some changes to reduce the song's polyphony. Namely, the piano used the same delay effect as Reminiscences. I had to cut this down from 2 delay tracks to only 1, and remove it entirely when the music reaches its climax. It isn't too audible, though. My first Ocarina of Time ROM hack was Indigo, and I loved it. I don't think I've heard of Indigo. I'll look it up, though. Notes can still cut out rarely, but the song isn't totally broken anymore, so I think this fix is sufficient. There is one that I've been debating playing on stream just because I played it mostly by my own, or whatever. Not by my own, but off stream rather. What was it called? I want to make sure I say it real quick before I switch the game over to something else. It was Zelda OOT ROM hack, roguelike. What was it called? Ultimate Trial. Ultimate Trial is really good. Anyway, I'm going to switch to a different thing, but I'll do that extra case tomorrow. So I'll be right fucking back.